Ladies and gentlemen, pay close attention. I am going to do a demonstration. Receiving the award for Best Actor for his portrayal of Michael Jackson as the Scarecrow in The Wiz. The award goes to Alexander Bass. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, I knew I was getting this award, all right? I'm bad. Playing Michael Jackson as a Scarecrow was truly a thriller. Let me tell you, it was easy as 1, 2, 3. I was so good as Michael Jackson that he had to call me up personally. He said, Alex? Yeah, Mike. You knocked me off of my feet, now Alex. Thank you, Mike. And then he asked me if I wanted to come over and watch a movie with him and Macaulay Culkin. I hung up. That was me. That was me last week at our senior awards assembly. Our director pulled me to the side. He said, Alex, you're not humble anymore. Then he reminded me of how we all acted when it was announced that our contest play won sectionals and we were advancing downstate. Many of us were running around, high-fiving each other, suggesting, oh, they should just mail us the trophy. Our director pulled me to the side again. He said, Alex, this is your fault. Then I realized as president of our thespian society that I had to say something because my cocky, prideful, arrogant nature has spilled right over to you. That is why I asked to speak to you at this send-off breakfast. As we prepare to compete downstate, I have a confession to make. Humble. Humility is a quality that we will not only need to display as actors and competitors, but in a bigger production called life. Therefore, I ask you to humble yourselves for about 8 minutes as I define humility by showing its importance, its benefits in our everyday lives. Examine the negative effects of not displaying this quality. Most important, I will offer you solutions on how to be more humble. What is humility? Well, a good place to start is knowing what it's not. First of all, humility is not being weak or less. Book, The Power of Humility. Author Scott Young states that humility does not imply low self-esteem. So let's say someone says, Alex, I thought that you were fantastic as the Scarecrow in The Wiz. You really touched me easing down the road. But I didn't mean to be good. I'll be bad next time. Humility does not mean that you can't have confidence or feel good about yourself. In his book, Purpose-Driven Life, author Rick Warren states that humility is not thinking less of yourself. It's thinking of yourself less. It's having an open mind, a genuine desire to discover what others have to offer. Now, guys, usually I'm asleep in my history class and I'm daydreaming about Jessica Alba, but one day I was awake and I learned this about our first president, George Washington, a very humbling story. During the American Revolution, he was standing with one of his generals. And the slave walked past. The slave said, good morning, Mr. Washington. Now, George Washington looked back at the slave. He bowed, he tipped his head. He said, good morning to you, sir. And I hope you have a great day. Now, his general looked at him in amazement and said, now, why do you just bow at a slave? George Washington said, I would not allow him to be a better gentleman than I am. That's humility. So we win state, and we're standing in the spotlight. All eyes are on us, and we start shouting, we're number one, we're number one, we're hot, you're not, yeah, dog. That's not humble, and that brings me to my effects of not being humble. First off, you'll find that you aren't really going to have many friends. People aren't really going to want to be around you. Let me put it like this. Who wants to be around somebody who puts themselves in the same subdivision as God? Hey, Lord. Yeah, well, can I help you judge people today? Okay, well, no, we'll keep my blessings rolling. Okay, keep my spot up there warm. No one likes someone who's overly cocky, whose ego is the size of North America. Perfect example of this, rapper Kanye West. That's right. Mr. George Bush doesn't like black people. Now, recently, at the MTV Video Music Awards, we all know Britney Spears opened the show with a tragic routine of Give Me More. I don't know what she gave us, but Kanye West was not happy, and boy, did he show it backstage. Give a black man a chance, man. I'm trying hard, man. I got the #1 record, man. 3rd time in a row, man. And he had the chance to redeem himself last week at the Grammys. Turn the music off, I'm talking about my mama, man. Talk about not being humble, man. Well, what else happens when you're not humble? Well, you simply limit your opportunities and chances of growing and learning. Famous English Bishop John Jules says, and I quote, "Know this, no man will learn nothing at all until that man is humble." Now, I realize if I walked around and I said, "Hey, Denzel Washington ain't got nothing on me," well, I would not grow and learn or become a better actor. Let's not let pride, arrogance, or overconfidence get in the way of us simply growing and learning. Ready for solutions? Well, after personal examination and extensive research, I have 3 simple solutions to being more humble. So listen up, because that's my first point. Listen more. In her self-help book, The Importance of Listening in Communication, author Maureen Stano states that better speakers are often better listeners because they have taken the time to find out what people are actually interested in. Simply put, the reason we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, ladies and gentlemen, is so that we can listen twice as much as we talk. How else can we be more humble? Try not to be selfish. Realize that this production will only be successful if we work together. So that means if one person decides to jump into the spotlight and yell something like, "Jimmy got soul, Jimmy got soul," well, not only will you be looked at as an arrogant showboat, but your desperate attempt to steal the show will make us all look bad. Recall these words from our director. We are successful when we are one. The trouble starts when we try to decide which one. My last point. Acknowledge and accept positive criticism. You know, guys, if no one ever told me that I look like Michael Jackson when he was black, when I had my afro, I'd probably still be rocking my 4.5-inch afro. And I like my Jackson 5, dude. Well, who knows? Accepting criticism can ultimately change your life by accepting our director's criticism. I am now speaking to you about humility. Let's review. Listen more. Try not to be selfish. Acknowledge and accept positive criticism. Thespians. Each of these things are steps to being more humble. They have allowed me to stand in the spotlight with humility, and I know they will with you as well. Well, thank you. Thank you for humbling yourselves for about 8 minutes. Now, I bet you guys are thinking, wow, did we just get a lesson on humility from Alex Bass, Mr. Scarecrow King himself? Well, easing down the road of life, I am discovering more and more the importance of humility, the negative effects of not displaying this quality, in ways where I can be more humble. Well, thespians, we are all winners because we have learned the art of humility, have we not? Well, thank you. I am. Are you ready for the spotlight?